Peace be with you, beloved, and welcome back to my channel. I thank you for liking, subscribing, and or hitting the notifications button to alert you whenever I have new content, and only if my channel resonates with you and you feel this is where you need to be. Nevertheless, welcome. So the way my gift works is I channel messages direct from spirit to the collective. I don't do tarot on screen, not at this time. That could change in the future, but that is how my channel works. So let's get into the message. So I did part one of love and finding your divine counterpart, the death and the rebirth that needs to take place, mostly in the ego and just the lower level self, in order to ascend to your highest level of existence when it comes to being a supreme being. We're all here to simply master ourselves. And so, in that, we want our divine counterpart. We want our divine partner, our soulmate, our twin flames. My heart goes out to any twin flame that is watching their twin flame go through the dark night of the soul, or just paying karmic debt. That's hard to watch, especially when you know that that person is your person. So, yesterday I touched a little bit on connecting with your higher self and meeting yourself at that level, right? Meeting yourself at that level and ascending in light to who you need to be as opposed to who you've been, and also finding love in the process for yourself. Impenetrable love that is void of guilt, anger, hatred towards yourself first and then others. And love is such a beautiful thing when it's done right. A lot of us have been privy to love in the sense that we know how to give love. And unfortunately, sometimes that has placed us in positions where people don't have the capacity of love to give us back. And so now that we're at this point evolving, the heart still needs to work out all the complicated feelings of what it's gone through and heal. And so, it's like you encountering your counterpart or seeing a reflection of yourself in someone else, but you run. Finally, you get to that one person after you've gone through so many heartbreaks, so many feelings of this is the one, that is the person, only to meet the love of your life who's been following you through lifetimes, right? When you have a deep soul connection like that with another person, trust and know that you've done this many, many lifetimes, and that your sacred contract to meet one another again is something that you're both bound to in your very last breath. That's the way it goes. Because love is a very powerful energy. We need it. There's not many things that we need in life outside of our bare necessities, water, food, and things to keep us alive, and, air to breathe, clean air to breathe. But love is something that we absolutely need. We do. And it is so amazing to realize and understand that once you've attained everything that you need to attain to any given point, material wise, accomplishments, whatever, this world is saying that you need in order to feel accomplished, you've attained those things outside of yourself, but internally, you've also attained great things to this point. It is so wonderful to be able to share that with a counterpart. Because after you've attained all those things, you sit back and you wonder, wow, I have everything that I want and that I need. It sure would be nice to hold somebody's hand. It sure would be nice to get a genuine hug from somebody that I know wants to hug me back outside of myself. So this supersedes physicality. Obviously, we're attracted to what we can see, how well someone takes care of themselves on the surface and even beneath the surface. So we're attracted to those things. But now that we're reaching certain levels of ascension, now that we're understanding the light and what it means to be a master of oneself, what we're attracted to in someone else could be completely different from what we used to see and want, or what we thought was attraction. Gravitating to light in someone else, illuminated light, not out of fear anymore, but out of pure love and trust for the divine spirit. So we always say, follow your spirit, follow spirit. The steps of a righteous man are ordered. That is a real breathing, living organism. That is a real breathing, living idea. That is a real breathing, blood pumping, heart beating, walking, existing idea. That is a person. So to be the living words, to be those living words manifested in the physical, is what we want to embody and what we trust the divine will give us in our counterpart. It's inevitable. So to get to such a point, understand the dynamics and the science behind that, and to allow fear to come up almost feels unnatural and just not organic. And if fear comes up, then I encourage anyone to not love anybody out of fear, not even yourself. Fear is a very debilitating illusion. It's so unnecessary. It is something that we can live without. Absolutely. And imagining what that feels like in the breathing, living version of ourselves, being fearless, having the conversations with ourselves. It's very, very powerful. And then to know that we have divine intervention, that we have ascended masters, we have angels that are assigned to us, literally assigned to us to intercede on our behalves, really lightens the load as you're moving through this portal of life, this existence. It lightens the load because there are some things that you need not be concerned with anymore. Those things that your angels deal with are not your concern. So this ascension to higher self, finding the divine love, meaning you face yourself first, you find that love within yourself completely and totally. And then you're blessed to find your counterpart who understands you without you even telling them your story. If you never speak a word and you sit quietly with your love or counterpart, they instinctually have already read your story and been a part of your story. So they're blessed to be in your presence once again. In this life, you will get it right. In this time, they forgive you. And it's okay because you found each other. Even telling this story is overwhelming me with so much emotion that I have to wrap my arms around myself in order to just allow Spirit to continue to channel through me. It's a very healing experience as we go through this transformation. Understanding, knowing constantly that every step of the way it's necessary. So take a deep breath. You know, breathe through it. Know that there are always going to be opposing ideas, opposing forces, if you allow it. Some things don't need to be allowed anymore. And so we commit to that idea of what evolving to that point looks like. And the moment you commit to that completely, totally, unguarded in your heart, pain free, fearless, you become the very existence of what it is that you're asking for. You embody the characteristics of what it is that you're craving on a high spiritual level. And so then you start to connect with yourself on a divine level. It's very much like the Matrix. It's like we jump through lives and portals and doorways to only find ourselves. And even when I find the love of my life, I'm finding myself. And even when I find my twin flame, my one soul, my other half of my soul, in totality, my soulmates, I am merely meeting myself. So then now in doing that, meeting the love of my life, looking into the eyes of my love, how can I now bring anything into the realm of connection that doesn't nurture and love and appreciate and is patient and is kind in this connection? It is a polar opposite of what it is that I'm wishing for per my desire. Doesn't matter what's happened up until this point. Because in this time, time is being stretched and extended for me to embody this love because it's written. It's been decided long before this moment. So now I envision the moment. Now I have a vision of it. I can smell it. I can see the connection. I can feel the connection of my counterpart. I know what it feels like. In the vision of that, I've already experienced it. So it's just a matter of time of that actually coming to pass. So I send light and love to go before me as I sit in the presence of my divine counterpart. When the heart is afraid, it still needs to heal. When the heart doesn't know, when the heart can't decide, it needs to heal. And so you heal the heart. Forgiveness. feeling deserving of love. Opening up one's heart to all things good is the best thing that anyone will ever do for themselves. Understanding the chambers of the heart and how it operates. There's a beautiful meditation that I love to do when I sit still and I just breathe deeply, like from the bottom of who I am, all the way down at my tailbone, right? And in that breath, there is a radiant white light. Sometimes it's a flame, depending on what needs to be destroyed. There are things that need to be destroyed within us that are not serving our greater purpose. So sometimes I sit with that energy and I just see that white light traveling throughout my legs, throughout my toes, my bones, the organs in my body, and then that light of healing wraps itself around my heart. And for every heartache, for every pain, for every unfortunate situation, my heart has released it. And so then that energy returns itself back into the ether because I know that it is going to a place where I don't need to call it back to me anymore. Because there were moments that you needed that pain. That pain helps us set a constitution with ourselves. It helps us set rules. It helps us, discern. It helps us learn from past mistakes. Well, you no longer need that anymore. It's almost like having the conversation with yourself saying, you are now free to love. And so you love freely, without regard, without restraint. You love freely. There is nothing and no one opposing that anymore. So divine love, you know, it's far beyond sex. And even though sex is a very, very powerful manifestation, we should be wiser the way we allow people to plug into our spirits and our souls. On a scientific level, we're sharing DNA. We're sharing what's at our spiritual core. So when we embody another person to that capacity, understanding the spiritual organisms that are being transferred, one is wise to be healed and well. Because if I'm meeting my reflection is wise, my reflection is healed, my reflection is well, harboring no resentment for woulda, coulda, shoulda in their lives. Those times have come and gone. It is an illusion. Well, this person hurt me. So now, are you the one? I'm not sure. Well, that's a heart that's not sure. That's a heart that needs to heal. Because even if you're loving that person for the moment, they are the right person. Now, most of us are evolving to the point, like myself, where I know that I am meeting my alpha and my omega. This will be my last kiss. This will be my last love. because this is my divine counterpart. So I'm going all in, not holding back. I have no fears or experiences or anything from the past that is keeping me bound in my mind, in my heart, and in my soul. Because in my vision, in my future, it's so beautiful that that energy of doubt and not loving oneself, right? Because that's really what it's all about. No matter how good we look, that's really what it boils down to, is loving self. That energy doesn't even exist. It can't in the vision of divine perfection. So as we envision those things, as we envision love and things like that, I encourage most people who are very smart, because the intellects, oftentimes we will outsmart ourselves. We will overthink things only to never make a move or to ever say a word. There's a full-blown conversation going on in our head, and we never spoke a word to love and into situations that we should have. So I encourage intellectual people who think on a high vibration, right? Because we're taking in so many facts. With projecting that vision and breathing into that vision life and love, seeing it, there has to be an attitude of deserving, knowing that you deserve that kind of love. You deserve that kind of love because that is the kind of love that you have to give to yourself and others. So you deserve that back. And even if you never say thank you, your spirit is saying thank you. And real, genuine people can feel that. So love is not a systematic thing. And it's really not that complicated. It honestly doesn't feel the way people think that it's supposed to feel. That's what I'm finding out. I'm finding out that love does not feel the way I had imagined it to feel. It's quite uncomfortable. It's a little scary, right? It's a little your body goes through some things. You start feeling stuff in your body physically, as the old ideas are dying. They're literally just dying within you. They can't exist in your realm based on where you're going. So you don't even think and see things the way you used to when you were in pain. But instead, you give thanks for the pain. You can laugh at all the hard times. That's when you're free. That's when you can laugh at your pain, that's when you know you're free. Because you know that it's all led you to this point. It's all made perfect sense. And you needed it. So you give thanks for it. Thank you. Thank you for the relationships that I thought were for me, but were only for me to teach me a lesson, and were only there for me for a certain time. And that time is up. I encourage you, baptize your past and don't look back. Looking forward, seeing, breathing into your now existence, what it is that you want and what it is that you are. You see that down to the very detail. Taste it. It tastes so good. Breathe it. It smells so good. Hear it. The sound of your divine life waiting for you at the higher level. It sounds so wonderful. It is music to your ears. It is a rhythm that confirms that you are indeed going the right way. Even with all of your fears and one foot in life and one foot in death and straddling the fence with the old self and the new self, it is still a very beautiful experience because you won't always be in two worlds simultaneously. Hmm. Just know that your soulmate, that your divine counterpart, your twin flame, whatever you want to call it, is waiting and wishing and praying for you right now. So pray for your soulmate. Some of us already know who our soulmate is. Some of us have never met our soulmates in the physical body in this life. But I encourage you to pray for that person. Meditate and send them love and light because it's very, very likely that they are going through the same experience as you. Yes, down to the details, the energy that you feel, the sounds that you're feeling. Oh, yeah, you're not crazy. They're going through the exact same awakening. So, like I said, love didn't feel the way I thought it would feel. It's very interesting. Sometimes I want to throw up. Sometimes I get nauseous. I'm like, oh my God. Go to the doctor and they're like, nope, you're physically fine. Nothing wrong in your body. I'm like, this is all spiritual. How come no one's talking about this? Why? Because a lot of us are still finding our soul tribes. When you find your soul tribe, you can bring all that and lay it on the table. You can exhale. Whew, I'm feeling this, I'm feeling that, I'm having dreams about this because they know. Be mindful not to tell your stories to the wrong people. But as we evolve and elevate, it becomes organic. You will naturally gravitate to that light. We must stay grounded. It's so nice to float into the ethers and the highest realms of heaven. Because sometimes we come back down and we're like, oh, the physical realm. There's this. After you've been kicking it with angels and ascended masters and getting downloads from the divine, it's a challenge to come back physically to ground yourself and like, oh yeah, I gotta go to a job. Oh yeah, I gotta pay some bills. Oh yeah, I gotta deal with that one family member who who tells me I'm crazy, right? And I still need to show them love. But I don't need to tolerate that energy anymore. Yeah, it's something when you have the veil removed. It's a powerful thing. So I'm being guided and led to end the video. I thank you. I appreciate you. I love you. Thank you for allowing me to hold a place of love and light for you as I continue to hold and embody that light for myself. May that light that you're embodying for yourself and holding for yourself get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and beyond that. Infinite light. Peace be with you.